What's going on, everybody? It's Tdawgg. Welcome back to the newest installment of This Week in Valorant. And now, let me tell you, this week has been crazy, man. There's been so much stuff going on. Some stuff I won't be able to cover today. But I'm going to do my best to summarize, do my best to go over the major points. And one of the biggest pieces of feedback I did get was that these videos are running a little long, so I'm going to try to cut back on that, ramble a little less, just kind of keep it to the point, right? So let's jump right into it. So our first kind of topic of discussion here, SINATRAA is back. SINATRAA tweeted here that, he is coming back to play and he will be starting tryouts this week. This tweet got a lot of traction, a lot of positive and a lot of negative traction. This definitely blew up. So a lot of people have been, sharing their opinion on Twitter. All I'm going to say is, you are not a lawyer, you are not a judge, you are not a jury. You can have an opinion, and that's 100% fine. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I was a fan of SINATRAA and Overwatch. Some things have transpired that have, maybe changed my view on who he is. But I believe that, anybody deserves a second chance. And, if they do put their, mind to it and, they cleanse their palate and they are truly, sorry for the things that they did, I think that, as a society, we can move past that, right? The next thing I want to jump right into is a lot of ranked beef. This is the Swarm clan. I'm not actually sure what team this is, but I just wanted to touch base on this and kind of just give a piece of advice to everybody out there who, isn't a, like pro player, whatever you want to call it. There's no need for this type of stuff, right? There's no need for this type of stuff. I was someone who had a loud mouth when I started playing this game. One of my good friends, NERFED from Oxygen Academy, can tell you some stories about it. But all I'll say is it's not worth to say any of this shit. If you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it at all. It's just stupid. You're gonna burn bridges. You're gonna get made fun of. You're gonna get criticized. You're gonna get ridiculed, and you are going to completely ruin any chance you have to play this game. Understand that the opportunity to play this game at any sort of semi-pro or pro level is a blessing, and it's an opportunity you don't want to take for granted. So when you're wasting away in ranked, talking shit, burning bridges, bashing others, all you're doing is lowering your stock and lowering your chance you have to make it. So, like I said, with the Swarm clan, it's just there's no reason for this shit. You should just be able to just kind of like bite your tongue and just be the bigger person and just stop talking about this shit, because this happens in every ranked game. Swarm is just an example, but I just wanted to kind of include that little inkling of advice. Just don't talk shit in ranked, especially when you can't see people's names. It just isn't worth your time, especially when you are a nobody, like these people are. And again, I'm not saying that in a rude way. I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? This person probably needs every connection they can get and every opportunity they can get to potentially make it in the semi-pro scene. So from him to take it from the tier 4 level that he's at right now to like that tier 3, he's got to drop all this shit. The next thing I wanted to get into is the quality of Valorant casting. This is a clip from Masters, and I wanted to talk about, before I get into this, I'm not necessarily criticizing this caster in particular because there are good casters at Masters. I just really think that the style of casting is too personality based in this game. And what I mean by that is there isn't really a lot of education going on. My personal two favorite casters, Sean Gares and DDK, now don't cast anymore. I think that Sean Gares was mismanaged at the last event when he was a caster. He had like a analyst board that he used in like like timeouts and like half times. I really wish that he got to go on more full games. But now with them gone, it's really lacking, and this is what I'm going to show you, just a small example of what I mean.
There's nothing more infuriating to losing to a very similar thing over and over. Now that could change it though. This could make DRX potentially reaccount for things.
I was going to say Marv tagged there, but nobody actually in position.
Close enough. Oh! FNS? FNS? Hello? Oh, you got a frenzy! How are you getting 2 frags? What's just happened?
I think the RX have read that as kind of Marv solo and he's panicked and popped his ult there. I don't know if FNS was no.
So, as a viewer, I don't understand why they don't understand what happened, right? FNS, you've got a frenzy. How did you get 2 kills? It's actually a great play by Optic. Marved is in the ult, the Viper's Pit. He gets tagged by a drone and he runs away. DRX assumes that there's probably no one else in it, and they still do their due diligence. They're trying to clear it out. But FNS has an automatic pistol that shoots with a high fire rate, and it killed targets that were low HP because of the ult. So I think that going in to, the mechanics and the understanding of the game and breaking down points like that is very, very important rather than having a reaction and giggling and laughing. I think Avril, AVRL, he's from the Overwatch League. He's one of the best casters that Valorant has to offer, in my opinion. He's very analytical. He'll go over detail. He'll go over why something is working, why something's not working, what he likes to see, what he doesn't want to see. And I think that is the future for casting. And I just wanted to include this just because, it's just my opinion on it, but I really do think that the casting in this game is very subpar, even on these international events, I'm going to be honest. So, don't take that the wrong way. If you are a caster or, you're involved in this, again, I'm not coming at, this person in particular. I'm just using it as an example. Look for ways to step up your game. In my opinion, people will click on the Valorant stream to watch the game Valorant. The only thing that you can do as a caster is make it better or worse, and that's in, your hands, right? I recently have been having to mute streams because the casting is so bad. I just can't sit there and watch it. I would rather watch the observer feeds, in all honesty. So I'm not saying that everybody has to be analytical, everybody has their own style, but I just want to know what you guys think about that. Am I being, too hard? Am I asking for too much? Let me know what you think down below. Our next topic of discussion, VCT Reykjavik. So we have the upper final and the lower final today. I'm really excited for these games. Drop a comment down below. Tell me who you think is going to win between Loud and Optic and Zeta Division and PERIPHERALS. I really, really want to say Optic for this, but Loud has been looking too good. Optic has a running streak currently of shooting themselves in the foot and making their games extremely difficult. I think if Optic come to play today and they keep those mistakes to a minimum, they can 2-0 this team. But knowing their streak, if that does continue, I see them losing 2-1 or potentially winning 2-1. But I really hope that this goes to 3 maps because this is going to be a really entertaining game. Loud really kind of like, not necessarily came out of nowhere. If you do understand and, pay attention to the scene, you know that these guys have been dangerous. But, now they're doing it on an international stage. I think it's really impressive. But, green wall, baby. I hope the boys from NA win and make it to Grands. That'll be really dope to see as well. And with Zeta Division and PERIPHERALS, I really think that PERIPHERALS is going to get outclassed. I think they had a really great showing against G2. But Zeta Division has just been on a heater. They've been doing a lot of damage this tournament. And I think that it's fair to call Zeta Division the favorites here. But that's where I am for Reykjavik, and like I said, let me know what you guys think down below. So, we also have a Philly LAN that wrapped up this week. We have XSET beating Cloud9 Academy in Grands, and then Complexity and Oxygen Acad take 3rd and 4th place. This is a pretty entertaining LAN to watch. I really like how Nerd Street and, Fragadelphia, per se, do their production. I really, really, really like being able to hear the players, what they have to say, the shit talk between each other. I think it's really entertaining. Shout out Verdi, bro. That guy was putting on a show for us while we were watching. But, with this, XSET, seemingly kind of took this. This was pretty free for them. If we go into that match here, 13-5 win, and then an overtime win on Haven, I think Cloud9, out of all teams, had the best showing this weekend. Better than XSET. They took a map off XSET, and then they ended up taking XSET to overtime on their map pick. And I think that they only really lost because they lost both pistol rounds. But I think that's really impressive from Cloud9 Academy. All the players on that team are really, really, really stellar. Most of them have been on main teams before. So I think that right now, Cloud9 Academy not only kind of runs the academy scene, but, they're showing that, they can play, with the big dogs, right? It's not just a seedling corporation. They're there to play. So shout out to everybody on Cloud9 Academy. Keep killing it, guys. The Toronto LAN also wrapped up this weekend. Together We Are Terrific, which is the Calypso Ethos team with Crit, Ziff, and Gucci on it. They 2-0'd Virtuoso. This was my favorite coming into the LAN. I can't say that I'm not. I can't say that I'm surprised. A couple of the other favorites that I had kind of fell out a little early, but that's kind of just how like the bracket went, I believe. But Virtuoso, showed that they can play on LAN, so I thought that was pretty impressive. They also had 2 people filling for them, Okeanos and Ronaldo. So, that core of 3, Blast, King, and Sniper, they were doing really well. Shout out Virtuoso. Shout out Together We Are Terrific. Keep it up. You guys are killing it. Now, another huge topic. The JETT nerf is coming in next patch. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, basically how it works is you have to pre-activate your dash, and that's what those little wind things are, right? I think that this is a really lazy nerf. I'm not really on board with this. I think that it is just a band-aid. Something to just like have people deal with. What I explained to my stream is that this reminds me of a nerf that would come out a week after an agent was released, and they were just like a little too OP. Does that make sense? Like this would just like this is like a hot fix for like a new agent that's broken. What I really wanted to see was JETT's dash going from omnidirectional to one direction, because I think that that would have made the fights you have to take a lot different. And the dash isn't really a get away for free card. It's more of a I can take an advanced position card. Because if you think about it, if you make the dash directional, that makes it to where it's a 3-step process rather than just 2, right? Currently, you can post on an angle, shoot, dash away, right? Left, right, back, forward. If we were to make it to where you were on an angle and you want to dash away, you have to look at the direction that you want to dash to, right? Making it more difficult in the sense of you're tradable, right? You can't really just like get away and sneak away like you normally have been. I personally think that not necessarily that JETT is falling out of the meta, but the Agent Neon, the Agent Raze, both of those agents have a very, very, very high skill ceiling. And when you get to that ceiling and you're getting close to mastering those agents, they can very easily have more impact than a opping JETT in a server. So like I said, I think that the dash change was pretty lazy. I would have liked to see something else. But as of right now, I'm really content with the meta of the game. I think that Breach needs to be changed a little bit. He's still a little buggy. I think Neon is a little too good, depending on who's playing her. And once that gets smoothed out, I think that we're in a really good spot. Different duelists are being played on each map. Different initiators are being played on each map. Different sentinels. Chamber's obviously really broken. He needs either a TP reduction or some sort of change to his op. But right now, I really do think the meta is fun, and I'm really enjoying it. Last night wrapped up the Knights 5K. This is always a big tournament to pay attention to, the monthly. I think that Ghost had an insane showing. Obviously, they won Grands, 2-0ing TSM. I think that Knights had an insane showing. And TSM did very well as well. Those are kind of like my top 3 teams from this tournament for sure. Ghost, TSM, and Knights. Hunter Thieves fell a little short. Akru fell a little short. That's a really hard bracket down there compared to some of the stuff in the middle, like TSM Academy, Vexo, right? And then we just have like an Akru 100 Thieves game. So it's always tough like seeing games like that where, one of those big teams is going to be gone very, very early. But, that's just how the bracketing works. That's how the group works. That's how the groups work this time. Tournaments have been really brutal lately. It's basically impossible to register for them. It takes like really, really, really like you have to like prep yourself. You have to be on the website within 3 minutes. I don't really know how to make a change, but I just wish there was a change. But yeah, I think that, the top 4 teams here, really showing that, they can play for a VCT. FaZe Clan still struggling with some like, inconsistency with, their roster moves. They're, getting better day by day. Same exact thing with 100 Thieves, right? They're just kind of meshing together and, making the best of the opportunity. And, when VCT comes up in these next 2 weeks, I think that it's going to be really, really entertaining to watch and pay attention to. And the last thing I wanted to go over today, Kenpeki and Wardell. So Kenpeki is on track to be, quote-unquote, replacing Zombs. I think that the roster lineup will look something along the lines of Sick going to play Smokes, Kenpeki on Chamber, Dapper's going to be kind of on that Viper role, I believe, Tens on the Jett, and Shazam is kind of going to be playing that flex role, that Sova. But I think that Sick is going to transition to smokes. Even maybe Kenpeki will even. I'm not 100% sure. But I think Kenpeki's chamber is really deadly, and I think that that's kind of like their missing link of like, you know, at least in VCT, you know, the chamber just has like a really, really, really high skill ceiling. It's a really impactful agent, so it's really good when you have a master on it. We also have Wardell registered with V1 in case Whippy is unable to play. I believe the reason Whippy is unable to play is a visa issue, because I know that version 1 is going to do a boot camp if they aren't already. But, you know, Wardell will, I think, fit into that role very, very, very easily. You know, Whippy has been playing that chamber. So, you know, Wardell was playing chamber on TSM, right? And he was putting up some pretty insane numbers with it as well. But that just about wraps it up for this week in Valorant. You know, these are all kind of like the major things that I wanted to go over with you guys. I had a couple other things that, you know, I kind of just kicked to the side for now. I see that I'm running a little long here, but we went over a lot more than we did last week, I feel like. I'm going to do better to cut it short, but again, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for 1,300 subscribers. I got a lot of content coming, IRL, and more Valorant-related stuff. So, you know, if you aren't already, please consider subscribing. I appreciate all you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next. Tdawgg out. Deuces.